Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Manuel, and I just want to do a brief revision of what we have done in the front end class in the course of our first semester examination, first semester period for this program in Boueti University. So this will actually favor those people that were not in the class and those one that was in series, so that they were able to follow through. And also, I will also drop the source code of everything that it has been treated so far. So please do well to go through this content of this video so that for proper understanding of every file that you are going to be accessing. Alright, so the first file we started in the course of our program was this intro.html, and this intro.html I actually use it to explain the introduction to HTML. Alright, so I'm gonna be commenting some things out, explaining it, then I will not be commenting it out. The first thing first, what we said is that the boilerplate of HTML is simply like this type of a file now. The shortcut I told them to get the boilerplate is shift then 1. When you get an exclamation mark like this, you press your words, your enter. So this is what we actually call the boilerplate, okay? And some people call it HTML skeleton, okay, because it contains the version, the line 1 you're seeing there, doc type HTML, that's the version of HTML. Then and this version of HTML is actually HTML5. So we have a different version from HTML 1, 2, 3, 4, and what 5. So for you to know that it's HTML5, meaning you have to have what your backward, your less than exclamation, then doc type, doc HTML, then greater than, which is your tag you have to put in there. All right, then the next line, which is line 2, is actually HTML, which is the language. But definitely presently we are using English. All right, that's why you're seeing here and there, a line here and there. Then basically HTML is just like a letter writing, whereby you have the head, you have the body, and stuff like that. So everything that shows on top of your tab, this is what we call tab. I believe you can also see my brother. This is what we call tab. You can see presently now this one is showing dashboard, then this one I'm right now is showing results sheet. Okay, that's what we call tab. So everything you want to appear on the tab is on the head. Okay, like now presently now I have document dot what document. So if I should take this guy live, stop, then I take this portal live, you see that what will be showing up there on the browser is you'll be seeing is document. You can see it there if you can see my cursor. All right, it's showing document. So presently I've not typed anything there, so it's document. So what we did was that we have to change the title to intro. Okay, we change it to intro. That's what we did there. Then the next thing on this your head region, you can see this meta cassette UTF-8 meta name viewport content with screen, and this now this line 5 is telling you the size of the screen. Okay, you know we have different sizes of the screen: the mobile view, the desktop view, and the tablet view. So this one is actually setting the size. Okay, then this one that you have beta cassette is actually giving you the character. Okay, the character of what we are using. There's another one we use for search engine optimization, which is also part of this head region. All right, now everything you want to appear on the browser, we'll talk about browser. This one presently is white. Okay, nothing is there presently. Anything you want to appear on the browser is written inside the body. All right, and HTML is made up of a open tag and a close tag. Okay, how do you know a open tag? Open tag is without a forward slash. Then open tag is without a forward slash, and the one that have a forward slash is called what? The close tag. And what is written inside your tag is called element. So body is an element, head is an element, meta is an element, and yeah, meta is an element also. But this name viewport is called attribute. So element can have what? Attribute. For example, if I bring in h1 here and I said introduction, and I said introduction, okay, I said introduction, I save this. Now whatever you write inside your HTML you must save, then you refresh your your browser. If I save this, then I refresh this browser, you can see that I have what introduction. So that is the basically everything you want to appear inside your browser is inside the body. So let me now quickly go to the where we stop so that we explain the block of code. I haven't gotten this. Now what we did here was this. When we saved this file, we actually got something like this. All right, we got something like this. So I want to explain everything, how we're able to arrive at this structure, and for the beginners, so that you get it, because everything here is actually for beginners, and which I feel is still very basic. It's still very basic. So I want to quickly explain this for you guys. Now I've explained the header region already for you guys. I will explain the title. Now if you notice something, I have from this line 8, from line 8 to let me bring it back so that you go to see what I'm talking about. From line 8, now this line 8 to line 16, you notice that something, this line 7 to line 16, you notice that something is inside there, which is called the style. All right, now this style is actually elements, okay, and this is the open tag of the element, close tag of the element. So basically what is written inside this place, is what is not actually HTML, because you can see the code that we are having there, which is not HTML. This is actually what CSS code. Now how do you identify with CSS? A CSS, we have a what, either element, then property, value. All right, so td is what is elements, okay, then border, 1px solid and stuff like that. This one you say is actually what, value, which I used to handle that. So let me just quickly go and explain this. Now inside this body region, you notice I'm having, okay, let me continue with this. This th and td, I'm actually targeting the table. All right, if you look at line, yeah, if you look at line 53, all right, you're having th, and line 59 you're having td. So what is going on there, I am targeting this element and this element. So wherever this th is mentioned and wherever this td is mentioned, I'm trying to use css to style it. So what is css? Css means cascaded style sheets. All right, it's actually for beautification, to get a proper alignment, a nice display of your HTML element or classes that you have declared inside your words, inside your HTML code. So if you notice what I'm having here, I have a border 1 pixel, I pass in a solid, and I pass in a color. I give a text align of left, okay, then I give a padding of what, of 8 pixels. Now this padding that you are seeing here is actually space inside your words, your element. So if you go to the browser, so we are going to be looking at the td and the th. So basically this is the td, all right, this is the th, the head, course, department, grade is actually the th, then James Bond CS 111 computer science is actually the word, the td. So th means table head, then td means table data. All right, I have something going on. TD means what, table data, sorry about this. TD means table what, data. All right, okay, now if that is okay, I just style it here, I change the background color of it. Now you notice something I have in this TRO, I have TRO here. This TRO simply means what, table what, row, okay, table what, row. All right, I style the table row. So what happened in this block of code is that I was taking the what, the end charge. All right, now each line in your row is called a charge. Each line in your row is called a charge. For example, now if you have something like this thing in your browser, this is a row, this is another row, this is another row. So we call it row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, right? So we can call it end child. So end can be what, any number, any what value that you have inside there. So what I pass in here now, this property is all called pseudo. So this one is presently called pseudo element. We also have the pseudo class. How do you know that is a pseudo class? Because it's having what, a column. All right. Now I pass in the end child. Now what am I looking for? I'm looking at even number. You know, we have a prime number, we have even number, we also have odd number. So if I'm talking about even number, I should be talking about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and stuff like that. So what I did was I said every even number, change the background color to be what? To be gray. So if you check the browser, you can see that this is the first one, right? The next one is 2, okay, that's why it is gray. The next one should be what? This one will not be colored. The next one will be what? Colored. So I'm going to have 2, 4, 6. So every even number, every even step, make it a color of what? Of gray. So that's what actually happened in that place. I can see something is showing, E is showing there. I'll figure it out later, but let's proceed. So that when I get there, I'll remove it. We'll get now. I've explained this now. The body, and I said that the body is actually what appeared on the browser. Okay. Now what I did here was that you can see I'm still having the same style elements. This one at this place is called elements, but at this place is called attributes because the element here is actually body. Okay, but since this one is inside this tag, this one is called elements. All right. Now style, I change the background color to be powder, to be light pink. So if you notice, the background color of this entire environment is what is light pink. So I changed it. We changed it there. So I will now explain. I explained about this RGB. I said arrow means red, G means green, B means what? Blue. So and I said something that where if you don't know the kind of color that you want to pick, you can actually put your cursor on that color, then you can begin to drag all these things that you have here. You can see that as I'm dragging, the value is changing and I'm getting different words dimension. All right, so that's the beauty of using an ID code or VS Code, or a VS Code that actually give these properties. Even the PHP Storm did not do it, and every other one, VS Code actually give you this opportunity. So what I did again was that in the body I have the word the button. Okay, now every button that I have in the body, I change the background color to be what? Blue. Then I make the text color on the button to be what? To be white. That's why if you look at the browser, you can see this I call this one with a button tag. That's why you're seeing is blue. That's why you're seeing that is what is blue. All right, I think that's about that. Then the next thing there, which is search. I have search here. Do I have search? I have search. So let me see where I have the search. I have search here. That means when you search, is okay. You can see the search button there. So this search button is actually the background color is blue and the font color is actually what's white. All right, now we went further because it's introduction. We try to look at every other thing. Now P simply means a paragraph tag. Okay, and this styling I gave it, when you are writing a style inside an element, we call it inline what? Styling. When you are writing a style inside an element, it's called inline styling. That means the element I have here is paragraph tag, the element I have here is body, the element I have here is what? Is button. So this thing is actually called inline styling. But in this case, when you're writing your style inside your HTML document, like this line 7 to line 16, is actually called internal what? Styling. That's called internal styling. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be looking at here is paragraph tag. So I said every paragraph tag that I have here, I change the text decoration to be on the line. Then I made the font color to be what? To be white. I think this is understood now. So if you look at I am learning HTML on a browser, I am learning HTML, you see that the color is what? The font color is white, the text is what is on the line. The same thing that is applicable to my channel. I will check out my channel when I go there. Then I now said something in that class. I said we have two ways of displaying list of items in HTML. I make mention of the list tag called UL, and I also make mention of the OL. All right, I said UL means unordered, UN ordered, unordered list, UN ordered list. Okay, so the other guy is ordered list. That's O. All right, O that's ordered list. Unordered list actually give the list of what it put a button. So if I should comment this place out, let me bring in a UL on top here so that for proper understanding of what I'm talking about. If I say li, if I say li intro, let's say, let me pass intro here, you will notice that this li intro that I have here will be with a dot. You can see that it's having a dot. Okay, that's how you know it is what UL. So UL actually give what list with what, with a bullet. Okay, with a bullet, and that bullet is called the dot. All right. Now if you look at the another list that we have here, the every another list, then let me just bring in the other guy, which is the well. So I'm going to have my list item, which is also beans, let's say food. All right, now you see that the difference between this guy and this guy is this. You can see that this other one is having one, this one is having bullet. So basically, if you want to give your list of item in the sequential order from one to blah 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 to be arranged 1 2 3 just like that, use UL. But if you want to have bullets in your list, use what? UL. So the trick is that every UL or OL must have the word li. Is that okay? Every UL or OL must have what? Li. So let me take this one out just to explain that. Now let's now go back to where I have, since we have understand that this UL is what is on order list. What happened there is that I now use internal styling. I use internal styling to handle it, because this UL is what I turned to become what it was I turned to become header. So let me save this. I don't want that thing to be there. This UL is what I turned to become header that you are seeing in here. Okay, home, about, contacts. So it is a UL I turned to that. So I want to explain how I was able to achieve all of that. Now I did an internal styling here. All right, UL style. I made a display of flex. All right, by alignment we have a different kind of a display that you can set your alignment. Number one, we have the flex, the grid, the inline block, the block, and the inline. Now we have all others as the flex box. All right, but because I want it to be displayed horizontally, I made the display to be what? To be flex. All right, I made the display to be flex. So let me just quickly give a proper example of that. If I have a UL here, I have a UL there, then I have li. Let's say my first li is what? Is food. So the next li I want to have here is bag. All right, now if you look at what is going to happen here, if I check this browser, you see that I have food and what? And bag. So for me to make this thing display horizontally, I'll go to the what? To the style. I will use internal inline styling to style it. Then I'll convert the display to be what? I'll make the display to be flex. All right, I'll make the display to be what? To be flex. So if you look at what I'm going to be having now, you notice that this thing is not displayed what? Horizontally inside of the what? The vertical display. So the next thing, because I noticed something is going on here, when you display horizontally, I was still having the bullets. All right, for me to omit that bullet, the property you need to call in your style is actually called list what? Style. So when you call your list style, you turn it to what? To none. All right, I turn it to none. So if you look at it now, the bullet is no longer showing there, but I have food, bag. So I notice now that the thing is too close together. So for me to be able to get it space in between them, I bring in another property called justify what? Content. Justify content. I say space what? Evenly, or space between. So I say space between. If you look at what I'm going to be having now, you can see that I have food, I have what? Bag. So there's a space between them. But if I say space evenly, there's another guy there which is called space evenly. So it will give you an even what? Space. So if I save this and I go to this browser, I check this browser here, you can see that I have even. The space between here and here is ending with the space between here and here, which is the space between here. This is all called even what? Spacing. That's why I was able to achieve this. So the next thing I did again was this. Since I've been able to get that, I had to change the word I had to change the background color to be black, So I change the text color to be white, then I make the background, the height to be 50 pixels, then I align all these items to the center. Okay, so I want the display to be at the what, at the center. That's all I was able to achieve what you have there. So let me quickly comment this out. Let me remove this block of code so that I will proceed with this code that I have. Is that is understood? All right, so now that's what I was able to achieve out of this here. So you can see the li, the home, you can see the other guy, which is the about, this one, which is what, the contact. Now another element came in here, which is the a tag. Now I said that the a tag simply means anchor tag, which is used to what, to hyperlink, so to go from one page to the what, to the other. All right, and the attribute we use for going from one page to the other is called href. And I said its full meaning of href means what, hyper reference, hyper reference. Okay, that's the full meaning of what href. So look at it now. You see that this one is going to about, this is a tags here. So if I save this, I go to this browser, you can see this one now is home. Now if I should click on this one should go to what, to the about. I come back here, this one will take me back to what, to the home page. So that this is what this thing is what is doing. Okay, and I make the font color to be what, to be white. All right, now the next line of there is what come about these big pictures that we have here. So that big picture is actually image. We went to the school website and we downloaded image of the school logo. If you go to the school website, you see that something like that is on the school website. So we now rename the image that we downloaded from the school website to be logo. So we notice that the image we downloaded from the school website, okay, this is where the E is located. The image downloaded from the school website is actually PNG. So I just call it logo so that we'll be able to target it. So when I downloaded it, I change the name. I make sure the logo is in the same file directory of this image. The same file directory of this what I'm trying to build. All right, so that's how I now call it. Now if assuming this image is inside a folder, so if I create a folder here for some of us, I can create a folder here and I call it images, right? You can see this in some website. So if I copy this one and I pass it inside here, all right, you will notice something that if I save this, you will notice something that the image will no longer appear. All right, the image will no longer appear because that thing has gone to another directory. So I have to locate the directory. So for you to jump to another directory, you can put your dot, all right, then you put your your forward slash. So when I put my dot and my forward slash, you notice I have access to images, then I can have access to to logo. So if I save this, then I go back to my website, you can see the image is the image is back. The image is the image is actually is actually back. Is that okay? Now if that is okay, let us proceed. So let us proceed. So basically you can have a proper file tree, because this is just introduction class. That's how I actually put everything there so that we'll see what is actually going on there. All right, the same things as applicable Olumide University. We just type in something here. We just type in this here. You can see we have a result sheet of Bamidele Olumilua University of Education and World Science. I think like this one was typed in this in this part. All right, so the next thing I have seen, that is the table. For you to create a table, look at it. If I collapse this code here, you notice that I have the table line 47 and 79, which a long code that was written there. You see now is a table. So for you to create a table, you must call your your table tag. For you to create a table, you must call your table tag. So that is what I did in here. All right, when I call the table tag, I give it a style, which is the inline styling. I give it a style of 100%. Now this 100% is for this table to have to be responsive. All right, what do we mean by what do we mean by being a responsive? When we say the table is responsive, if I take this into a mobile view, you still see that this table string to take the size of the device. If you take it to a tablet view, it will still was string. You can see that everything is actually properly responsive. That's all called responsiveness of a web page. All right, so that thing, what is doing that is this 100% that I passed in here. So I made the font family. The font family is actually what you are seeing the right up on the table. This is actually the font, which is the right up on the table. So I made the font family to be area. So this is see area, I be area. Yeah, this is the proper spelling of area, not area. So if I save this, I made the font family to be what? To be area. Then I make the border collapse of the table. I make it to what? To collapse, so that this is also part of the responsiveness. All right, this percentage and this other one here is part of the responsiveness. All right, now for the row of your table, this is actually the row of each table here. This is this name, course, department, grade is actually what? A row. So but this is the header row. So if you look at what I have here, I have a TR row. You have to open a TR row. Then you have your T-head, which is for the name, your T-head for the course and for the department and stuff like that. So if I collapse this, you notice that this one is a row, and that is what this one is what is doing there. So I now pass in this head here, okay, which means what? The table head. Now on this table row, okay, on this table row, I want to have a what? A table what? Data. I want to have a table data. So this code here, something is wrong with this code here. So I will have to correct it now. Something is actually wrong with this code here. So I wasn't supposed to close this one in here. Since I okay, since I wasn't supposed to close this here. Since if this one is closing here, then I don't think there's any need for this one to come in and also be closed, because if I want to have something like this, that means I need to open a TRO. So there's supposed to be a closing of that, then another TRO need to come in here. Okay, another TRO need to come in here. Okay, so that the other guy will be what? To be properly arranged. One wild thing about HTML is that even when you are writing your rubbish code, you still have a display of whatever you are typing in there. Even if your code is not properly arranged, you still have a display. Oh, so there is an error here. So let me remove this here. So okay, if I save this, let's see what's going to happen. All right, something is wrong. I have a TRO close. Now I have all that TRO here. So what's actually wrong now? Let me just run. Oh, error. TRO. Problem. So I remove something from here, which is I think the table. Something was left here. The table was removed. So let me bring in the table back. Okay. So this code is not supposed to be there. Okay, I'm back. This code is not supposed to be there. This one, actually this one. Okay, I think it's better now. It's better now, because this one that is was open supposed to be what? Be closed. Okay, so that's that about that. You can see the same thing here. This is another row, but in this case now I'm looking at what? Data. So basically this is the data. All right, this is the data, this is another data, this is another data, but this is the word, the head. So if you try to look at this code very well, you see I have just only one T-head, but every other thing with us that wrap inside a TRO is actually what? TD. So that's how we're able to achieve this particular web page, which everybody did in the class, and they were all happy with what they were able to do. Okay. Quickly, the next thing that we looked at again after we finished the introduction, this page that we created, this one that we created about and our contact, we have to go to the file and created an HTML file called what? About. So what I did was that the logic I have for the head, I just copy it and bring it in here. because the same thing. What one thing about a web page is that a web page, this is the alignment of a web page. A web page has a static what head and a footer. The body of your web page is actually what dynamic. The body can change, but the head or the footer should not change, because if the head and the footer is not changing for your website or your web page, meaning your web page is not consistent. It will not be like confusing somebody that is looking at your website. There should be a consistency on your website. Is that, if that is okay, let's proceed. So what I did for this about was this. If you look at what is going on here, when I click on this about, you notice that I have image appearing here, about the image appearing here. Okay, so what I was actually trying to achieve something in here. So what happened was that I passed that image inside the container. The container, what we call container in this HTML, is called a div. All right, I pass that inside the container. Okay, then I also pass inside the container, which is 32 to what, to 43. You can see is one container. 32, 43 is one container. So inside that 32, 43, I have a container, another div, which is from 33 to what, to 35. So I now have another one from 36 to another one. I have this. So 36 to 42 is a container, this is a container. So basically I have a mother container, which is the main container, and I have two child container, because I want to be able to get an alignment. So this first container, I pass the image. So the image, you can see it at this side, which is called visit.png. All right, you can actually increase the width. So let me make the width to be, so that it at least let me make the width to be 100%, so that it will full the entire box. The width to be 100%. Okay, so that maybe this is a property the best of this that image can carry. Okay, because if I try to shrink it, it will make the image to be blur kind of. But let's see what's going to happen. All right, so that's the best property that image can actually carry. Okay, the width of 100 pixels is if I say style, let me style and see if style is going to do it for me. I call the width property, then I say 100 watts percent. So if I pass this here, let me see what's going to happen. Okay, I think this one worked for me, but you can see that it fools the entire container. It resizes the entire container. Okay, so but what I want to have is, I don't want it to resize the entire container. Let me make it something like 500 pixels. Let me see what's going to happen for that image. Okay, let me just leave it like this. 250 pixels. Let's see what 250 is going to produce for us. 250 pixels. I save this. All right, so it's still small. If I say 300, let's say 400 pixels. All right, let's just leave it like this. So you can see that this is a div and this is another div. Is that okay? So what I now did, I went to call this main. This time around I use an internal styling. I call the main. I convert this guy to be a grid. Like I said, we have other display which is also grid. If I make it flex, flex will still do the job. Right, flex will do the job for me also, but for a flex I do not need to call this guy here. All right, I do not need to call this one here. So what I just need to do there, if you check it, I'll see I have the dimension that I want. Okay, this is a flex now. I see I have the dimension that I want. Okay, flex is direct, but if I want to have a gap in between, I can just bring a property called it's actually called column gap for flex. Column gap. So I can now say give me a column gap of let's say 8 pixels. You may not see it because there's a space between. You may not see it, but because this thing, the color is not having a border. So that's another method of doing this. Okay, you can either use flex or use your grid. So let me quickly take it back to the to the grid. All right, so we have something like this. So I give it a grid of this. Then this one that I have columns, you know, is two columns, which is the first div and the second div. So one F arrow, two F arrow. So I said, okay, oh, when one occupy this one, F arrow actually means well, free space. Okay, I gave the first guy to occupy the entire div. Then I gave the second guy to occupy the other word div. That's why when you notice something happen to this browser, if I should try to minimize this page, if I try to minimize this page, do I have it? Yeah, if I try to minimize this page, you see that the thing was what is responsive. All right, that container is actually responsive. So what is actually doing that is because of the F arrow that I passed in here. So I can say, okay, let this one be one F arrow and this one be what, two F arrow. That means I'm going to have more of what the write up size than the image size. So you can see that this one is actually occupying more space than two space. So basically FROC means what? Free space. Some people call it fraction. Okay, one fraction, two word fraction. So one fraction, this is actually half of what? Of two. One FRO is half of what? Two FRO. All right, so if that is, you can also make this thing to be what, like 100. You can say, okay, instead of that 100 what pixels, which this one now is not flexible, because you have actually made that thing to actually fill in the what 100 pixel, which 100 pixel is from here to what, to here. So you can see that this write up is coming on top of it, so which is not a good what, a good practice in your words, in your web page. All right, so that's the only logic that happened here. This other guy there, I just passing the h3 tag. H3 tag is actually heading tag by Middle University. Then I use the Lorem Ipsum. I think what I pass in this Lorem Ipsum, I type in, let me show me that. So this Lorem Ipsum, I just type in Lorem here, say Lorem give me 50 character, and I press enter. You can see I have what, 50 character. Lorem Ipsum is actually a dummy text for we built for website to just have a content before we get the original words, original content of that word website. That is all about the about. The last guy there is what is the contact, because that's another page that thing is what is redirecting to. So what I actually did for this contact page, I actually explained the concept of form, because we have talked about table. Now let's not look at how is form was created. So basically the UL tag that we have up there is what I see copied and I drop in there. All right, then I give the style of text align. I give you a slide of text align center, and then that's what, if you look at this contact, you have something going on there. Everything here is still very, very basic, because it's actually the introduction to our class. All right, then we have label for equals to name. Okay, we actually created a form. Now when you create a form, one attribute that is very important in the form is the action. The action attribute is actually tell the form where to go when the form has been what, either submitted or what, sent. All right, where do you want to load after your form has been what, has been sent or what, submitted. Okay, that's what actually happened in here. That's why I pass in the form attribute action there. Then the same thing, I still did inline styling here because it's inside the form, but inside the form tag. The body, I made it solid. That's why you are seeing that the form is actually having a line around it. Okay, white line around it. I made the body to be solid. I made the border to be what, to be 1 pixel. So if I return this one to be something like 5 pixel, you notice that line will be what, will be thicker than it is before. So that's what happened. So I make it 1 pixel so that it will not be obvious, but I just want you guys to see that something is actually showing there. The border, that's why I make it what, white. We notice that the border around that form is actually what, is actually white. Is actually white. Okay, the border around the form is actually what, is actually white. So the border radius, now if you notice something in this form, there is a little curve at the edge here, but if you did not zoom it, you will not know. So what I did was that for you guys to know, I actually make it something like if I say okay, make it something like 50 pixels, so that you know that that thing is a border radius. If you look at it, you're having a proper border, like a curve around it. Okay, now, and I gave them something Yeah, I said the secret of a border radius is the half of the what of the height, or you just give it 100%. Okay, but let's take it back to the 1 pixel that it is before. Then now, if you notice what we are having here now, this form that I have here, name, I have a name which is coming on this browser. Okay, name, enter what your name here, which is coming from what this is actually a label. All right, to know that what you are supposed to enter here is your name. And what I used to get this one is what the input type. Now I tried to explain this input type. I said the input type has different type. The first one, we have text, which show a text like this. All right, input type can also give you button, so the type is going to be button. Input type can also have check, the type is going to be check. Input type can have different value for the words for the type. Okay, input type can have a type of mail. Input type can have a type of what, a type of mail, so on and what and so forth. Okay, then that's what that guide is doing. If you look at this label, I said a type of label. So what this one is doing here is that it must accept email address. If you try to submit this form without passing email address, let's say I have email here, all right, and I say email here without the @ character, all right, I try to send it, it will not go because it requires what, your @ okay, that's what that guy said. But if I say email at wherever at gmail, so at gmail.com, then I submit, you notice that the form, now look at it, immediately I submit this thing, it come back to what, to the mail window. So that is coming from this what, this action here. You know, the mail window, we call it was intro, in INTRRO HTML. That's what is coming back here. So when the form is submitted, it is refresh and go back to what, to the main page. So that's the thing that we did there. The footer and this one is just for us to have a write up at the background there. So this test file, which you are also going to see there, this test file, I just explained the text environment. So let's see what this guy is telling us here. Sorry. So I use this text file to explain something. Yeah, we now try to clone something using this text file. So what happened was that we explained the concept of cloning a text. All right, getting a proper alignment of your words of a text in this place, or the formatting of a text. That's why we just use this one as a basic word example. So you can see what I'm having here. This is actually internal word styling. Okay, so internal styling, what I did here was that the first paragraph was video title, which I have here. Second paragraph, video start, which I have here. The third paragraph is video author, which I have here. All right, so video description, which I have here. So when I now, this place now is called class. All right, it's called class because I want to differentiate the styling. So that's why I give in a what, a class. So the video title, I made the font family to be area, the font size to be 18 pixels and stuff like that. So the next one is the word, the video starts. The next one is the word, the video author, which I styled, and I was able to come towards to this. So the only new thing here is a padding, and I've said padding is a space inside the elements and the margin is space outside the words elements. Okay, that's about that. So I'm going to drop this entire file and the video on the platform for you to watch and have a nice day. Thank you very much. For the other one, I'll do a video of the other one and also drop it here for you guys to go through. Thank you very much. Will be these idiots.